Oh my goodness, look at this ice. My fingertips are cold. It is cold here in the South Island in New Zealand. Wow. Alright, let's talk about fish tanks. This is my 21 litre eco-style aqua fish tank. This thing's small, but I like it. This is my cleaning process. So once a week, I get a toothbrush and I start scrubbing. I do a little scrub-a-dub-dub. Get rid of excess algae and any other dirt. This is me, I'm Max. Now I like the size of this fish tank because even for someone who wants a fish tank, doesn't want it to be too much of a chore, can manage this. All I do is once a week scrub-a-dub-dub. I do about a 10 to 20% water change. I remove any excess or dead vegetation. And that's it. It's that simple. Alright, so I'm just going to check their whiteworm culture to make sure that that's going good, and then we can feed them that later on tonight. I feed them once a day. Let's check out. Yeah, that's looking all good. So I put a bit of bread in there, and that's what they eat essentially. I mean, it's the only reason I really put bread in there because it draws them to the top. There's a pane of glass here, and then they're super easy to collect for the fish later. I also feed these to the baby 5 million newts and also the adult 5 million newts. So stay tuned. Alright, so I've come back to that same whiteworm culture. Look at that. That is just lush. Look at that. So satisfying. Look at all those worms. Easy. Now you just scrape, use tweezers, whatever it is, and collect. So what's life like with a 21 litre or a small fish tank? Tropical fish tank, so to speak. Well, in this I've got 5 fish. Because it's so small, I had to be very, very careful with the fish that I could choose. So I went pretty niche and pretty small. 2 coolie loaches, pea puffer, 2 bumblebee gobies, and some snails. But I'll get into that further down the track. Now with this ecosystem, I like to go with heavily planted aquariums. In the past, I've been used to cichlids, much larger fish. You can't really have too much plantation or vegetation. But in this, because these fish are very small, they're not destroying the plants, and even the snails are behaving themselves. They all play a particular role. The snails help clean the waste, they help keep the glass fairly clean, they eat the algae, and the coolie loach and the other fish also play a particular role. Now I've gone with this eclectic mix because they're actually super unique. I've got fish that aren't overly popular, I've got some territorial species, and they all are super inquisitive and have really, really interesting behavioral patterns. So I decided to get this cave off Temu. Now if you don't know what Temu is the new AliExpress on steroids. It's awesome, easy shipping, and things get here quickly. It's good quality as well. Now I got this cave for the bumblebee goby. Apparently they're a pair. They might breed in it, they might not, but the coolie loach like it as well. So there's 2 caves in there, and it's just an extra hiding place for them to enjoy. So what are my fish? I have the coolie loach. The coolie loach comes from Indonesia. These guys are awesome. They look like eels, but they're a cleaning fish. That's what I like to call them. Now I also have the bumblebee goby. These come in freshwater and brackish water. Brackish water meaning that a little bit of salinity, but they also can thrive in freshwater. Mine are freshwater because they were bred in captivity in freshwater. I also have some other epic critters in here. As you can see, the pea puffer, or puff is what I like to call them, as well as a lot of snails. Now these guys actually live very, very well together. They all have a bit of attitude. The bumblebee gobies and the pea puffer are territorial, but with the size of aquarium, all the vegetation and hiding places, they seem to live in symphony. And this ecosystem is a perfect environment for these 5 fish. So this is it. This is my 21 litre small tropical fish tank. So if I can do it, you can do it too. I'm an average Joe. I'm not a fish expert. I'm not an aquarium expert. I just like fish. And like I said, I like heavily planted aquariums. It makes it easy. Once a week clean, a water change, and keeping super eclectic fish is also part of it. So you can get a small fish tank. You don't need to think about something big, something that takes too much time. This is nice and efficient. These fish make it worthwhile. With huge personalities and really interactive. Now, can you see the fish in this clip? Yes, you can, I'm sure. The coolie loach. I thought these guys were mainly terrestrial, meaning we're bottom feeders, but they're actually all over the place. And I think bumblebee gobies might get a bad rap, meaning that they're super, super hard to look after, but I find them super easy. Keep them in small to medium sized groups. I've got 2 and they seem to do just fine.
living with a territorial pea puffer and 2 coolie loaches. This is a what I like to call blended family. Alright, let's talk about snails. So why snails? This is a ramshorn snail. Ramshorn snails are cool snails. They can survive the pea puffer, and that's why I got them. Pea puffers can demolish small snails. That's why mystery snails, or super large snails, bigger than a pea puffer, and ramshorn snails are super important. Now, I've also got Malaysian trumpet snails. These guys are fairly invasive in nature, meaning that they are nocturnal, they breed like rabbits, and they are everywhere. But they're still very important. They all serve a purpose. Now, snails are essentially the cleanup crew of the fish tank, or the water world. You've got isopods, springtails for your terrarium, well, you've got snails for your fish tank. But trumpet snails also play a vital role in my tank. They're food for my pea puffer when he can be bothered, that's me. And they also will clean waste. They'll eat algae when they can, or they'll just keep reproducing and keep having kids and kids and kids and growing their families. So, this is Puff. Puff is my pea puffer. I was obsessed with puffers when I first saw my pea puffer, and I couldn't believe how small pea puffers would come in size. These guys come from India, and these guys are super, super cool. Now, something unique about my fish is that my bumblebee gobies and my puffers are really, really fussy. They only eat live food. They don't want frozen bloodworms, they want white worms, they want live black worms, they want things that move. And that's what also makes us super interactive. When you get larger fish like cichlids, you can also do the same thing. So, you know, when it comes to fish, you have a lot of variety and diversity to choose from. They're interactive, they're really interesting and peaceful to watch, and ideally they make great pets. Some people don't class fish as pets, but I think that's rubbish.